Here I am, your empowerment provider, Leon C., aka Morpheus. You are now listening to the Academy of Wow Men. And in here, we are all about, again, empowerment, success of the mind, success of the spirit, success of your body, and definitely success of your life. And in here, this academy, I talk about what is necessary and what is important for the future. And who's going to be the future is going to be the children that we are nurturing today, or that we have nurtured yesterday. And in order for us to succeed in this teamwork, you and me, we must understand that we have to rewire our thinking. We have to change the way that we deal with reality. We're going to have to change the way that we have been taught by those who just did not know. And in that reality, those who just did not know are those who is of our past, which of course is our grandparents, our mothers, our fathers, or the leaders that have come before us, who simply did what needed to be done in their situation. Oftentimes in our past world, how we have become who we are today is because those individuals made decisions. And oftentimes those decisions wasn't thought out 15 years later, several years later, or even a year later when you was to be born, or even in the moment of the entanglement in which they were creating you in the mother's womb. But the issue that we have on often is right there is where we are completely lost on a general basis. Whereas we are tethered and connected to those who have brought us into existence by way of the corporeal flesh. And as the little ones that we were once upon a time, from the age of 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And as I always teach, the SpongeBob years, which is between 3 and 8 years old, oftentimes I flex from 5 to 4 to 3 to 6 and to 8, because in those years, everything is being programmed into your mind. In those years, you really do not know completely who you are. And you begin to realize that even thereafter 8 years old. But usually you are powerless, even though at that time you may be talented. You may be, as what I have described to you before, called a star child. You may be fortunate to be from a wealthy family, or unfortunate to be with a poor family. But as Morpheus, I switch things up on you. I twist the game. I reverse the record. I reverse the album. So I wouldn't say that you was unfortunate by being in a unfortunate poor family, because oftentimes when you don't have everything, when you're not given everything, when everything isn't handed to you on a golden platter, you learn something that others have a problem learning, and it's called appreciation. You learn to value things because you know it's going to be very seldom. It's going to be far and few in between before you get those brand new shoes again, before you're able to get a brand new game, before you're able to go outside and ride your brand new bike that your parents really don't have the funds to buy a new one. Or you might be in a neighborhood or grown up in a very poor neighborhood with a very poor people, poor thinking people. And in order for you to have become who you are today, or to be better than them, that is their perspectives and principles, You had to start loving yourself. You had to see yourself as greater than what you was. And therefore, some of you who have become famous rappers, famous singers, famous artists, famous actors, famous sports players, your mind can reminisce on the days where you pretty much had nothing. And as you had nothing, you told yourself one day, you told yourself that you was tired. You didn't want to live like this anymore. You didn't want to continue your life being powerless, being unfortunate, being ran down, ran over, being like everybody or everyone else that is around you. And because of this, whether it might have been by the aggressiveness of wanting to succeed, or the aggressiveness because you loved yourself and you wanted to save yourself out of that low valley lifestyle, you have succeeded. And therefore you have gained something that even the rich has troubles gaining. You've gained something that even those who are raised with a golden spoon can never fathom or understand. You gained an appreciation through struggle. You gained what is truly valuable in life because you have endured the struggle to obtain. You've worked hard to get what you've gotten. You've put your pennies together and you had to think about it whether or not you had the opportunity. But those who have been raised up with fortune and fame, with the silver and the golden spoon, and some of them even bronze, that struggle for them came too easy. Actually, the success to overcome their struggle came easy. And therefore, the appreciation of anything just comes and goes. That is, even the lapse in luxury of women, the lapse in luxury of some cars, the lapse in luxury of whatever it may be. It is, I can buy another one. It don't matter. I can get another one tomorrow. It don't matter. Now, I'm not going to derail you from that subject, but I will tell you this, that this also tethers on an apparatus of many other subjects. And one, since I always support men, this is why on the often when you meet a woman, you got to look at this as the same as what I described to you. You have the rich man and the poor man. In this case, it's the rich woman versus the poor woman. The rich woman is the one who is born at birth with naturally gifted beauty. Her riches is that men are able and willing to bend over backwards to serve her because of their nature, because they want to procreate with her, because they see something in her they like, whether it's her curves, her eyes, her youth, her hair. So she becomes very fortunate to the point where there is, for example, 10 men in her day, 10 men who she doesn't have to blink an eye to receive. She don't have to work to gain his loyalty. She doesn't have to slave in order for him to appreciate her. All she has to do is be herself. And therefore, you are nothing but an expendable luck of the draw. You are the guy who's always waiting. Either you're waiting in line to be the 11th, or you waiting in line to be number 0, or an eventual 0 after she's done with the rest of the numerals. So therefore, for some of you who have a hard time, and I'm going to get off of this rail because that's not the subject, but this is major for a lot of men. Whereas you don't understand what Red Pill talks about, what Morpheus is saying on the often when it comes to the 80-20, when I say that men are disenfranchised. Yes, there are some men who can finagle women just the same. There's some men who have a reciprocating door, where if one woman isn't active, then you have another one walking in just the same as the other one walked in. But that's not often for most men. Most men are not that fortunate. Most men on a general basis don't have the avenue when he is born to be gifted with the golden interest of women. So therefore, even if he catches at least 2 or 3 flies in a day, she has 12 against his 2. So she is still this person who is very fortunate, whereas you come and go. And when she is rare to you, she's rare to you. You are the unfortunate person, the poor guy, in which your bicycle and your money comes very seldom. Your ability to succeed come very seldom. These great things that you work hard for comes through trial and error. It comes through sometimes you cold approaching. Sometimes you're trying to find up the proper pickup line. You're trying to get your money right. You're trying to get your body right. You're trying to be this man that she will choose out of the 12 men that she has. But what you have a hard time comprehending is that she will never, ever, ever, ever look at you as a valuable asset until she is done, when her river runs dry and her money runs to zero. For after she gets done with her fortune, just like any rich person, any fortunate individual, any Scrooge, any Grinch that stole Christmas, any individual who is on their last leg, then because you are the last option, because you are just an expendable thing that was waiting the whole time, because you are available, because there is nothing else for her to turn to, she would turn to you. She would turn to you whether she has a child or not. When she's 32, 36, 42, and then finally she would say, "Now, Billy, I want to be with you." Now, on that note, before I switch the rails back to the subject of what's at hand today, once you clearly understand how that mathematic works, you should have an open eye, whereas why it is unfortunate for you men. Whenever you lack self-confidence, whenever you are this guy who feels as if this one lady or 2 women or whoever is the best that you ever had, and you'll never have another opportunity, so therefore you will accept any low-hanging fruit, then that's exactly what you will receive. That's exactly what happens to you. Because you have to understand, as a hive mind, you men have to start thinking straight. You got to start thinking for other men. You men have to start looking out for each other. And all of y'all need to do an about face and walk away. And until you do, you're always going to be expendable. Now, argue as you will with your pupils and your likeness. But I've already debunked it, because all you got to do is think about the one who has the money and the one who doesn't. What rich person, what rich man or woman in a right or wrong mind, logically or illogically, would ever allow themselves to suffer or dwindle down to anything insignificant that they can purchase with $2? They can purchase it the day after. You know, they can buy you 5 times over. Why would they concern themselves with you? You got to think about this. The more blue pill men, and here is your golden nugget here. The blue pill men is her currency. Blue pill men is her money. Blue pill men and blue pill parents. That's right. There are blue pill fathers and blue pill mothers. Yes, absolutely. Who support the nonsense. Whereas her bank account flourishes. So she would never, ever, ever settle for anything virtuous or do what need to be done for, what is it that you always say, a brighter future for the children? It is utterly irrelevant to her. But if you are doing it about face and you have a standard, you have a rule that if you want to donkey dunk, if you want to have my child, if you want to get married, if you want to whatever that you want, woman, there is going to need to be some standards here. You have to abide by this virtue that we need as men. And therefore, should she decide to deviate from your program as a hive mind male, she won't lose. There will be nothing for her. Then all of a sudden, men, you are disabling her to be this blue pill, rich and functionable, wealthy woman. Where the men who are blue pill will transform to be red pill. And therefore, they will never come to her rescue anymore. They will know the game. They will realize that they are just a spindle on her clock. They're just an expendable asset that should she get bored and tired of, she will quickly absolve him. And therefore, the game changes. Therefore, the game changes. But until you man up, until you realize this, now, I know what some of you are thinking. Some of you have already married. Some of you have already given your life away. Some of you have already committed yourself and did not think about your decisions, and now you are already with family. You're already with wife. You're already together. So the question will be, what do you do now? What do you do now? And the hurt part about it is, and I get this often as Morpheus, the Neos come to me and they say, well, Morpheus, I'm already in the situation. I've been married for 12 years. I got 2 beautiful children. And my wife is all right. She's doing what she can do. The struggle is at that time is Morpheus can't help you. All you can do is maintain. I would not advise for you to jump off of the ship unless you realize the ship is rocky, unless you realize that your penalties are going to increase after 10 years, 11 years, 14 years, depending on what country that you're in. If you have any plans of sticking with them and everything is okay, you make it better. You work at it. You don't really have a choice. You don't have a choice. So you put yourself in a position where you are the happy wife, happy life, dingbat, but you don't have a choice. I clearly understand. But if it's going to be rocky and you really don't want to be with this woman and she's causing all type of chaos and it's not peaceful at home like you really want it to be, I want you to think about something for a moment. And I want you to glimpse about the history of man here in America. Think about all the people who got in a divorce, all your high-ranking actors, artists, and wealthy men who have more money than you. Think about that. That they too waited for the clock to stop. They waited for the boat to break apart before jumping off. And they ended up losing millions and time and energy and space. So if you realize that things are getting a bit rocky and you do nothing about it, I'm here to tell you that that clock is not going to stop for you. And it's only a matter of time where it's going to strike 12. And you are going to be the beta blue pill standing there looking awfully stupid. So instead of having a hope strategy and thinking that things are going to get better on its own. You need to realize that sometimes you can't put the pieces back together. Sometimes things is done. There are times where you must face reality and say it is truly over. We tend to look over things in the Western world, and we have this delusional vision. And the delusional vision comes with backwards inspirational people who are most times religious. Most times they do have good intentions to try to motivate you and say, just stick in it, brother. Pray, brother. Or man up. You responsible for your decisions, so stick with it, sort of thing. But you must know that sometimes you can stick with something that can be the very thing that's destroying you. Listen to me carefully. Listen to Morpheus. Sometimes you can be holding on to the very thing that is poisoning you and is actually internally killing you. And you will hold on to it based on tradition, based on your religion, because you feel like it's wrong to jump off the boat. And the hurtful part about it is, because I love children, is the children themselves. You don't want them to hurt. You don't want them to deal with your separation, or you don't want to feel like you're selfish just to leave this family that you've made because you want to pursue life. You want to pursue freedom. You want to pursue yourself. See, I'm not a marriage advisor. I can be, but I'm not. I don't have that title, but I can be. I'm not a relationship advisor, but I could be. But I can tell you this with all confidence. And if I could put a placard on it, I would, because I know that it will stand up. How do I know this? Well, I'm a man just like you. I've been there. I've wanted it, and I've studied it as well. And yes, I too have been hurt by it. There are two pedestals that you have in your life, men. The one pedestal is, first of all, number one, yes, be responsible for your decisions. Be accountable. You chose her. You said, I do. You said, okay, sure, let's have kids. One way or the other, either your big head said that, or your little bitty head down there at 3 inches said that. Okay. And so you have to stick with your program. Okay. And as you are sticking with your program, the thing is, it is your task now to maintain it, as I said. And so, therefore, you have to deal with the ups and downs. You haven't an option at all but to make sure that that car stay maintained, which the problem is most of you don't. Y'all get too comfortable with each other. Y'all are comfortable with farting around each other. There's no more, exclusivity at sometimes. The uniqueness is gone, and the colorful clouds and sky have become gray. And now it's just a usual, everyday, I come home, how you doing, honey? Dinner's on the table lifestyle. If she cooks and it's not Chinese takeout. And the other half of it, listen to me, my married men. You think Morpheus don't know? The other half of it is when the ship is sinking. Now, this is where I feel for you, because as a free man myself, not in any type of broomstick situation, I don't have a woman looking over my shoulders and never will. Okay? I run my castle alone. And It's better that way. Okay? I have never, as Morpheus, never felt more free, more excited, more alpha, more of a man than when I disconnected myself from the matrix and began to love myself. If you want an example, there's a game. I always talk about references in games and movies. Some of you know it's Grand Theft Auto with a guy named, what was his name? CJ? San Andreas? Remember, he was in his hometown, and he kept advancing to get out of the place, and he was in Chinatown and other places, and he had to go and pick up his brother Sweet from prison. And he described to Sweet how different his life was, that he was out of the hood now. He was no longer in the hood. He had his own place. You know, he was hanging out with the famous rapper somewhere in their mansion. You know, and he moved up and where he moved out, where he saw things a bit differently, where it was like night and day. So oftentimes when you leave your crook of deception and you relieve yourself to see that the world is bigger than your neighborhood, that the world is bigger than what people want you to be settled in, you'll begin to see how much of a better person that you are and what you can be. But here in this measure, I'm talking about when your relationship is at its last leg and you trying to make it work, but you haven't a choice but to do that. Should you break it up, the children will be hurt. There will be some financial tug of war. And there will be some definite bickering and time wasted standing there in the courtroom as supposed to be two grown children needing the court system to devise you and to tell you whose toy belonged to who, which is a very terrible situation to be in when you are supposed to be an adult. It's a very shameful situation that you need other people to decipher and separate your belongings. No different than mommy and daddy when you was a little child playing in the sandbox. That should be a very embarrassing situation to be in, and you should be ashamed of yourself. But we hold on to these last-legged relationships, these particle marriages. And no, it may not be the best thing that life has to offer. Yeah, you may be limited. And in your mind, at least you are married, at least your family's there, and you are doing your obligatory tasks as a man. But because the fruit is so low, because it's so low, because you started off wrong on a general basis for some, what ends up happening over time, because your potential is higher than that, you being an eagle, you are able to soar higher than that. Okay? You have to mutate your spirit and your soul. You have to mutate your space and your freedom. You have to mutate what you really want from life. You have to mutate what you really like. You have to mutate your vision now that she's 50 pounds heavier and for some 200 pounds heavier. Now that you're seeing younger, more vibrant, more beautiful women, more beautiful options and places to go, things that you can do, longer motorcycle rides and traveling out of town and owning your own home and your own house or even apartment to yourself, where you can come in the door, throw your shoes anywhere you want to, walk around naked, right? Call up who you want to call up, smoke what you want to smoke, drink what you want to drink, with nobody and nothing there to tell you a damn thing. Right? So what ends up happening as you are in this very low plane of life that you are now obligated to stick with? there's something that happens, and it's happening even more so, where oftentimes I can see it on you man's face. I can see it in your eyes where the glistening light is gone, where you're just humglum and you need your cigarette. You need your beer every now and then. You need your space away from home, but obviously you can't truly get it because of the burdens that you decided to sign up for. And oftentimes you was deceived into getting into because of the blue pill uncles and fathers and so-called religious people saying, this is what you're supposed to do or you will burn. Limit yourself or you will burn. Practically it's that. Limit yourself or you're going to be a boy for the rest of your life. Marry or you're going to be considered as a loose leg. No, don't go and be free. Don't go and play cigarettes and play games and smoke cigars and go shoot pool and hang out with your boys. That's what children do. Grow up, find a wife, have kids, settle down, and limit yourself to a ceiling. That's what adults do. And so over time, this is what happens at the end part of your relationship. There's 3 phases that it goes to. There are other phases, but you're in the Academy of Wild Men. This is how I teach. This is as Professor Morpheus studies. In the first few years of the marriage, yes, it's hot and fiery. It's interesting. It's a new thing. Then it begins to die off because the excitement leaves and reality hits you, and now you're taking on your responsibilities and you see it for what it is. Now it's yellow. It's just an everyday thing, but you're still able to stick with it. Then the third phase is the gray phase. The gray phase. The gray phase is when now the arguments is happening. Now you're seeing the real life Medusa. The real life Medusa is the girl takes off her hat and she reveals the evil end that has been underneath her the whole time. She reveals all the knacks and the issues that you have been seeing every so often during the first stage and the second stage, but this time it's no holds barred. But you deal with it because you're still thinking happy wife, happy life, but it's a struggle now. Now I hate that mentality. Now you have the phase where you may not be the one, but you see on the news where there's always a domestic dispute between the husband and the dad, and there's a bit of violence here and there, and some people who went into it seriously on the blue pill wave, somebody gets hurt, somebody's missing, somebody is paid to come and take that companion off of their hands. Please. I've even told you there were several times while I was in the gym and speaking to other men, and they'll tell me about their marriage, and they will play, but some of them will be serious. They'll say, do you want my wife? She's for sale. You well off Morpheus, and you're young, handsome, you got muscles, and I'm pretty sure that she will you can come and can you come in and take her off my hands? You be the one to help me out. And also half and half. He's half part of it. He's not serious, and the other half that he is. He's sincere, but he's not sincere. Because of him fighting himself. And here's what happened. And I'm going to bypass that story because I'm going to stay on topic here. What happens to you men at this point is you lose your soul. Your soul is being sapped out of you one day at a time. At this point, now you are lacking testosterone. You need Viagra because, you've been here 14, 15, 16 years. You're like, even her walking around with nothing on isn't so fascinating anymore. Once upon a time, you thought her her body warmth, was a very comforting thing. Now it's more irritating. Get your elbows out of my back type of thing. This is nasty. Oftentimes it is in your mind. You do gross yourself out. Even if you do try to engage, it's like, well, it's here type of thing. Let me imagine the next door neighbor. Let me imagine, oh, you know what? I seen a 23-year-old girl. She was, oh yeah, let me imagine her. Yeah, kind of outrageous and crazy for me to say that, right? But you will be surprised how true that is. Stop playing. I'm not lying. Because you forgot that you was a man. You didn't put yourself as a priority as you said, I do. Now you're saying to yourself, I don't. Okay. But however, what you must know is slowly but surely you lose track of you, and your body fluids don't even work properly. Your testosterone is not as accurate as it used to be. And now you're just bitter, business oriented, I need to leave the house and find something to do type of guy. And then often you try to lie to yourself and think that you're doing the right thing because you're dealing with it, while else everybody else is divorced and not together. Then you very soon realize you're just going through the motions and just waiting for the boat to just sink. As deep as I have put that together, you will soon have the ability to realize why I say what I say in the beginning part of the audios most times is your empowerment. If you're going to do this thing, you must make sure that everything is in order. And the number one thing is knowing what you're getting involved with. And it becomes even more harder as your westernized civilization has a false sense of liberation, because their idea, Neo, of liberation is not thinking logically. I have women, listen to me. Please listen to me carefully. I have two type of women. Let me tell you my two type of women. My one type of woman is the one who comes to me and she tells me everything. She's just a friend. We socialize. Every now and then she wants to take our relationship to another level. And I sit and I learn, I study. This girl has been all over the place. These girls are strippers. These girls are on OnlyFans. These girls are married. These girls have boyfriends, and no, I do not pick up leftovers. Don't go there. That's not Morpheus. No, I talk to them. I don't donkey duck with them. No, I have a standard. I told you in one of my audios, I have a choice of a girl. I'm not going to go into that avenue if she has ties. Okay, because there's one part of me as alpha that, no, I'm not going to put myself in this situation. I'm not a passive type of guy, and nor am I ever gentle. Okay, so I don't back down. I just don't. So if she's free and clear, when really there's truly no free and clear woman, there's going to be somebody there in her world. Okay. But I don't mess around with those who are in ties with other people. Okay. But whenever there is a conversation or an engagement, I make sure that the way is clear as to him and his jealousy and his blue pill profile of misunderstanding don't get in the way or become a trouble for me. Or shall I say in reverse, I become a trouble for him. But these girls tell me what I tell you on the often, that virtue is practically nowhere to be found and the logic is gone. The sense of liberation means I am so illogical where I can damage myself, and then I'm going to resell myself on the market eventually. And there's going to be some blue pill waiting for me. I got a bank account full of blue pill dummies who's going to chase after me because all they want is to donkey dunk. And they will eventually find them a blue pill dude, in which I've seen a couple of times. And I'm completely disgusted. And a couple of them actually got married. I know this girl who messed with other girls. She messed with other girls. She was she stripped as well. She had those days, right? She been put in places where she woke up, didn't know where she was at. And when she brought this to my attention, I'm standing like 4 feet away from her while I'm talking. The more she told me about her past, the more I started scooting my chair back. By the time she was done with the conversation, I was literally on the other end of the room, leaning against the wall while she was talking to me. And these are the same women that are always saying, Morpheus, you are hot. You got muscles. You got this. You just, can I? I'm like, no, no. You can't, no, I don't think so. No. You can't serve me. I don't want to be served by you. Absolutely not. No. Oh, I get on my knees. No. Your mouth, absolutely not. Your mouth been everywhere. No. You take that mouth, put some Listerine in it, go somewhere else. That's the only thing that's going in your mouth is some Listerine or some chewing gum. Nothing while you're in my office is going in your mouth. I ain't even going to feed you. I'll give you a cup of coffee. However, the second girl, listen, is your girl. Uh-oh. Now you're like, what do you mean, Morpheus? Uh-oh, you get on touchy ground. Your girl. Uh-oh, what do you talk about, Morpheus? All right. Yeah, your girl. What I mean is this. My second girl is the girls that I learned from what you men get involved with. Because I watch you and I have friends. I have plenty of male friends that are still blue pill as the sky and ignorant. I don't talk to them. We don't socialize because they're far, they need help. So when they get into a situation, they will call. And you know what I'll do? I'll laugh at them and I'll hang up. And while they're talking about their dumb stuff, I'm taking notes. No, I'm not trying to give them advice because they don't listen. I told them everything that I tell you. But I write down everything. I'm like, oh, she did this. Oh, interesting. Oh, wow. Ooh, okay, really? Ooh, nice. Wow. 20 minutes later, I'm standing there like, you know what? I'm going to go to the hardware store. I'm going to go to Ace Hardware or Home Depot. And I'm going to get this really big vault lock, right? I'm going to make some boxers out of it and just go ahead and just click it and make sure that thing never rises again. You know that? Because I see how they rag men down to the ground. And y'all men spend money, time, resource, energy, dumb conversation with these girls. I'm sitting here on a yacht somewhere on the water, reading books, talking to people, taking my children places, making them laugh, taking them to parks and beaches, enjoying the sand, free to drink a Corona if I want to, enjoying the sunshine on my skin, and y'all sitting there disenfranchising yourself with somebody who really don't give a care about you. Let me tell you something about most women, and it applies to most, not all. I read a scripture in the Bible. I think it was my other audio, 1 Timothy 2:11 or something like that. And it said something about when a woman's salvation is through childbearing. And let me enlighten you, men, on something. Not only does it slow some of the women down, sometimes, listen, That is the only way a woman can truly experience true love. Let me tell you why. Because most times in her life, attention, luster, and gifts are rained on her without her doing a daggone thing. You know, daddy's there to be this blue pill protector idiot who who's the one that helps put her on a pedestal and want to fight the world, the president, the army, if they should ever come close to their daughter. But the daughter isn't proving herself to be anything worthy of such attention, same as some of the boys and sons, even though, of course, fathers and moms love their kids naturally. But the protection and the idea that she is always an angel, that she is this prime meat, gives her a sense of validity that she don't own. Give her a sense of entitlement that she carries into adulthood, where she expects for you men to do the same thing. When she's 21, 22, 25, 26, she's standing there with her hands on her hip and she's tapping her shoe on the ground, her high heels, waiting for you to open up the door and to be this daddy figure, in which from the years gone on that have expanded to its extremity. Whereas a lot of men feel like they need to provide like a dad. They need to do the paper flipping. They need to roll out the red carpet. They need to treat this girl as if they are the providers, protectors, and so forth and so on. And so his blue pill conditioning provides her with that means of, again, building up this false sense of self. Whereas she don't need to do anything. So this is what happens. She feels like she don't need to work for your attention. She don't have to work for you to bend over backwards, because what did I tell you? Just like the rich man, or you wealthy financially, you don't have to struggle for money. You got it. You're not going to you're not going to be a rich man standing on a corner shaking a cup for somebody to give you a couple of quarters or dollars. Okay, it's not going to happen. That's the same when it comes to attention. So her false sense of attention is what I'm trying to be nice here, dumb men give her, is the donkey dunking, where a lot of these women who don't really know what real love is think that your donkey dunk is a form of love. Moron. And you're willing to give it to her that way because that's all you want to do anyway. So now she has a false sense that you love her just because you spread her. This is why sometimes you can't get rid of crazy girls. This is why they want to come after you with the biggest butcher in the kitchen. This is why your car ends up scratched up. This is why they want to blow out your window. Because when you cheat, when you donkey dunk with someone else, she feels utterly violated. And she feels she has every right to, or obligation to herself, because you and her daddy built up that false sense of expectation where she never needed to work for validation. Okay? So what happens is, here we go. Listen. When she has a child, now she is forced to give some sort of love or compassion back. Like the Scrooge, like this rich guy in a castle, like a wealthy person. I'm not saying that's what they do. I'm just saying that in this lesson here, where everything is given to them, they have free resources. Everything is just bottled up there. Where now they are forced to give back. They are forced to pay the piper. Because now there's this responsibility here. No different than owning an organization, owning a car lot. You are a business mogul or something like that. You got to put money on your responsibilities. You got to pay. You got to pay the equipment. You got to pay the ceiling. There's a roof. You gotta pay the notes. You gotta pay the electricity. You gotta pay your contracts, your contractees to take care of your business. So when she has this child, it's the same. So therefore, they don't truly experience true love until they have a child, because now they have to give back. Now they have to nurture this child. And a lot of them go above and beyond because they never experienced before. This is how they push you out of the door. This is how you become insignificant. When the child's 1 and 2 years old, she is telling you, I don't need you. This is my baby. I've carried this baby for 9 months. I carried it for 9 months. What did you do but just, do what you always done and just donkey duck? You didn't do anything. She's saying, this is my baby. Because she haven't experienced it's a new thing. It has not been to the point where she needed to give back. So now she's engulfed with this new energy of needing to reciprocate love, needing to give compassion to someone else, to be protective, to be a provider. Listen, to nurture someone else the same as what you blue pill men and daddies and fathers have done to her all that time. Now she knows what it's truly like. Now, she's allowed to do this because of your initiation, because oftentimes your blue pill men around you and court services and her unlimited resources of financial wealth. And again, what did I tell you what her financial wealth is? Blue pills. Blue pill, you got your support system like your blue pill grandparents. You got blue pill other men, blue pill uncles, blue pill brothers, blue pill people that support her. So when she says, this is my baby, now that she realized what a little love is, and she pushes you aside because her new lover has appeared in the form of a child, you oftentimes lose. You lose, and you lose badly. That is what that biblical text was meaning when they said that. Through childbearing, she will find salvation. Then, of course, you'll find out that it wasn't just that one child. Oftentimes, after the damage is done, is after the first child, or the first child is about 5 or 6 years old. And now she realizes, well, I still need a mate. I still need a mate. And by that time, it's kind of harder to peer bond because of the storm that she have left behind. And then where do you stand in the eyes of the blue pill betas? Where do you stand? You stand as this deadbeat person. You stand as this person who did wrong. You stand as this person who was a jerk. You stand as this dad who simply didn't care, in her language, and how she wants to portray you to be. All right, now I'm going to read something to you. And I think in every lesson here, I'm going to read from a favorite quote from several people. And I will as much as I can. If I don't, it won't be because I forgot about it. Maybe I just didn't pull it up that morning. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why I'm telling you this, men, and why it's about your empowerment. And you will begin to realize why I talk about religion, health, and your mind. Now, this favorite quote was by this guy named Richard Feynman. And he says this: science is what we have learned about how to keep from fooling ourselves. Science, to keep from fooling ourselves. See, I'm not all about Scientology. And I'm not one of those ones to push that science is a form of God or that it is God or anything like that. Okay. But I will tell you that science is not just about the elements. It's not about knowing how to put something together from the ground. It's also about nature as well, things that you can see in your physical world. things according to your own development, your mind, your spirit, your energy. And the trick about this is that oftentimes we go on myth. We go by word of mouth. We go by what somebody else said to us. Or we go by, again, traditional ignorance that cannot be proven. And so if the more real we are by knowing, again, who we are as men, knowing who you are. See, I'm going to tell you something, and I know this seems kind of outlandish, and I don't mind sharing this with you. I don't mind it. And a lot of people are going to be uncomfortable about this, but I don't care. I'm Morpheus. Deal with it. Okay? See, if I accept a woman, if I'm going to be in a long-term relationship, and I know it's not going to happen, and I really don't care. Trust me, I don't. It's going to have to be more than one woman. It's going to have to be at least 3 women at one time. I'm going to have 3 wives. It's going to have 3 women because, listen, I know it's not for you. And for some of you who are religious, oh, I can't believe he said no. It's going to have to be. They're going to need to get over the fact and be sisters. They're going to have to just deal with it. Be like, no, that's your sister right here. This is your sister and this is your sister. Simple as that. If you don't like it, get out of my house. Be done with it. Oh, how could you? No. I get it. Okay, you want to be like, get out. I don't need you. I don't need you because I'm going to tell you something. The science of it is that I know myself as a man. As a man, it is my task to make sure that I'm taken care of, that my manhood is taken care of, that I keep a circulation, not of women. I know what you're thinking. No, keep it. No. Because internally, I am naturally going to be I don't know if I can say that word, a sexual creature. Okay. And a provider and a leader. And at the same time, I can get bored as well. And there are 2 stages to this. The one stage is I know that a lot of women aren't like everybody else, meaning the talent to be able to step up to the plate and be this woman who is a one-woman army is far and few in between. It's almost merely impossible to find this woman who can ride or die. Okay, who can ride with the waves. All right. It's just almost nearly impossible. And so what happens is there's a second backup plan. And then there's a third backup plan because I'm not going to limit myself. I'm not going to put a ceiling over my mind. I'm not going to put a ceiling over my manhood. I'm not going to. Okay, because I know the way the world used to be. See, the way I think and the way I function is not like you in the modern day world. See, I go back in the ancient days that you are all forgotten. I'm back in the days where there were pharaohs, there were kings, there were towns, there were tribes, there were groups of people who had multiple wives, they had multiple families, they had multiple pieces of land. That's where I am. And it was quite successful. It was quite successful because he felt like he was a man, and cheating was completely off the charts at the time. I'm not meaning that that's what they did. I wasn't there. I can't tell you that that's what happened. See, even I don't even do that as a man. I don't sit up here and try to tell you that what happened and I wasn't there, based on the Bible, as I talked about before. If you're not there, don't say that it happened. Okay, but historically, you can do your research and figure out, there's a Pharaoh or king that had multiple wives. You don't have to be Pharaoh or king, but I'll get to that in a moment. Okay, but the idea of it is to keep myself in check. Because y'all thinking about longevity. What? Y'all thinking about longevity with this one person who is woefully insufficient. They gain weight, you tired of him, and you got nothing left. 1 is the loneliest number. It's the weakest number, and it's the last line of defense. And when it's gone, it's gone. Now you got to start all over again. How pathetic. and you done. And then here you go, divorced. Here you go, stuck because you decided to accept this low hanging fruit that was somebody else's girlfriend several times before in the past, and you done for. You done for. See, I would want longevity based on what will be proper, what would work, what would be sufficient, what would prevent me from getting bored like you, what would prevent me from allowing my soul to be sapped out. Okay. See, the problem with you modern day thinkers is that you say, oh, it's impossible. You can't deal with 3 girls at one time. They are crazy. No, because y'all allowed it to happen, and because you're crazy, and because you're weak. Okay. No, I'm not boasting. I'm nobody special. And again, you don't have to be somebody special. You don't have to be some king of Kilimanjaro. I don't have to be the alpha of all alphas to have or to get what I want. I'm just a regular dude who knows himself. And the very fact of it about it is, I'm not saying that that is going to be the total. What I'm saying is, if it's not going to happen, I don't really care, because that's my standard. It's what I like. It's what I want, because I know me. Too bad you don't know yourself. Because if I want a different flavor, she's right there in my face. If I want a different personality, she's right there in my face. I don't have to go out of town. I don't have to talk about, I'm stuck with this girl for the rest of my life. But, oh, well, my sister's right over there. She's right over there. Like, where are you going? Where are you going, baby? Where are you going? Nowhere. She's right over there. Oh, she got it. She's right over there. I'm tired today. There's my sister over here. Go spend time with her for a few minutes. And a lot of you thinking, oh, well, this one girl will be jealous. Oh, the other girl will start fighting each other. And slow down. Shut up. And slow down. Hear what the professor is telling you. The reason why it does not work today is because y'all have a false sense of reality, a false sense of possession, and y'all don't know how to get along even in a one-on-one relationship. That's your problem, because you're living a low-hanging fruit lifestyle where y'all don't know how to get along. Y'all don't even know how to group up with each other as a culture, let alone stop fighting and shooting and killing each other. So, of course, to you, this sounds stupid and crazy. You think, oh, Morpheus, you will kill yourself with 3 women. No, you'll kill yourself because your mind is in the modern day. You are born from these negative black seeds, not me. Not me. I'm born from emperors and kings in my blood. No, I don't have a title. I'm not from some famous great person. Absolutely not. I told you, I'm a regular Joe, but I know who I am as a man. Do you understand? Especially by nature. Whereas women can only get pregnant one time in a 9-month period. Men can continue to seed if he's going to be responsible for his activities, that is. Okay. And there is multiple occasions where that is something that men are generally interested in. And if I'm going to be adventurous, if I'm going to be settled in my life, if I'm going to be content, why not make it 100% secure? See, y'all don't see, security is something that I'm just going to get married to this girl, and we're going to mythically hope and pray that our relationship is going to survive for the rest of my life. All these old false, vows never line up. You sick with her outside of 7 years and you talking about this is secure. No, because you don't know who you are, because you allow the westernized civilization to program your manhood beyond ignorance. Let's check this out. Let me slow down for a minute, because some of y'all are retards. Hold on. Listen, if you got 99% of males thinking the same way, like, oh yeah, one woman is good for me, I'm going to get married and get settled down. Not one dumb moron can't realize that they're not like the rest of them. Listen, from my childhood, I've always been that one person to look at everybody be like, no, that's not me. That's you. That's not me. Okay. And it's stupid because we are not the same. We don't wake up the same. I don't brush my teeth the same as you. I don't even go to the gym and pump iron like you. Okay? Absolutely not. Our DNA is totally different from each other. So why would I agree with your westernized, Americanized thinking that, oh, I'm going to be married to this one woman and okay, you'll be a fool. Okay, I'll be free. You stuck with a tasteless, and you wonder why your testosterone is you wonder why you need Viagra. You got prostate problems in your head. You wonder why your hair is falling out. You're balding. You frustrated. You stressed. You know, I got to be home to the wife. I'll be like, dude, I will be on my boat. All three of them will be sitting there and we'll be sucking on some Long Island iced tea while you at home suffering, talking about, I'm with this woman with 50 pounds. You know, go ahead and fool yourself. See, I have to put that person out. I have to put that personal business of mine out there like that, because some of you thinking like, okay, you know, how can you talk this big jazz? You say, marriage is a good thing, marriage, yeah, you're right. It could, go down to the gray end, but my marriage is okay. But yeah, you don't look at the way that the world is today, that we are utterly dysfunctional. We don't unify for anything. So if you think Morpheus is out of his mind, you can't even unify with your own people, let alone worrying about what I want and what I need. I'm not like you. I'm not connected like you are to dumb stuff. I didn't jump over the broomstick, nor am I in some long-term relationship. So I can choose however I choose to choose. And it's my choice to know what's best for me. See, because you don't know how to get along with everybody else, because you are blue pill beta, where you allow women to run all over you all the time. This one woman is running your life and your children, and you paying her month to month. Okay. That don't mean everybody's made bad decisions like you. And is going to like you. Like what I'm telling you is this: listen and put your thinking cap on your big head, not your little head. You got to know yourself more than anything and know what you're dealing with before you engage in a long-term relationship. I'm only giving you example if I was to, as far as longevity. This is something that got to last for a long time, because that colorful clouds is going to turn gray pretty fast. Pretty fast. Y'all get so accustomed to this one person and everything goes south. You're like, God, like, I don't think so. And while you doing that, my girl will be at home cooking, and I'll be like, you know what? I'm just going to go, we're going to head out for a few minutes, because I don't want to sit there too long with that one, because she might have an attitude or be going through something that day. So I can separate myself and still have my woman standing next to me, and you won't. Another woman who might have a different attitude and a different energy that day, and a lot happier that daddy is taking her somewhere while the other daughter is at home, fettering or whatever she's doing. And she better not act up, because she'll be out of there faster than a hurricane. Okay, because you don't know how to man up like that. And I'm not saying that that's Morpheus, you ain't this big shot, who do you think you? I'm a teacher giving you an example here, because a lot of you think small, you small thinkers. And let me shut my mouth for a second. Let me shut my mouth, because we're going above and beyond here. Okay, here it is. And this should destroy everything. And you women and men who was listening to me, if you're thinking that I'm out of my mind, I got something for you. Before you even put anything in the comment box, let me tell you something about Morpheus, okay? A wise man told me something that made me mad. I was pissed, but he was right. And this was an elder guy that wasn't even my father. And I felt like he was Jesus Christ in the flesh, coming to kick my ass. He put me in a room, and it was like a warehouse area, right? And we're moving furniture and stuff around, and we was talking about life. We was talking about girlfriends and women and stuff like that, right? check this out. So the rest of the guys left, and it was just me and this older guy, and everything got quiet. He said, here, get a cup of coffee. I said, what's going on? He's like, get this cup of coffee. Take it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, God, I don't even drink coffee. Okay. Coffee was black and bitter as charcoal, but it was hot. He's like, no, Chuck, go ahead, finish it. And we just drinking coffee, right? And he's looking at me with one eye. And at the time, I was, how old was I? I was 16. This guy seemed to be like, he was like 53, 54. And he was looking at me. His hair was all gray and everything. And he didn't keep his eyes off me. One eye was just looking at me while we was drinking the coffee, right? And he said, come with me. And we walked over to the warehouse area. He slammed the door. Boom. I was like, okay, what the hell did I do wrong? He said, oh. He said, listen, there's something I have to tell you. And I felt like my back was against the wall. I'm like, okay, he's going to kick my butt. He's going to strangle me. He's going to kill me. Something's going to happen. Something's going down here. He said, don't you ever in your life, and he had a tear in his eye. He had a tear and he said, don't you ever lower your standards. You reach high. Do you hear me, son? And I'm like, what did I do? Okay. Okay. He said, listen, no. And he walked up closer. He pointed his finger at my chest. He said, listen to me. And I can see the tear running down his eyes. I was like, oh my. I was like, okay, now I'm listening. I'm 16 years old and I'm sitting here like, okay. He said, listen, don't you ever accept less than what you think your life is worth. You get the best, son. Don't you accept anything. You reach high. Do you understand? And at that time I was like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And, he walked out, boom, slammed the door. And I opened it. I was like, okay, what happened? I'm like, and I never heard from him again. And, 3 years later afterwards, and I'm still, growing up, I'm like 19, something like that. I found out that he passed away in a plane crash. And it broke my heart. And I didn't think too much at the time. I didn't take it too much into my viscera, but it touched me to the point to where I was like, that was his mission. That was his mission at that time. Something was going on in his life where he put himself in some type of situation where he was, maybe he was just tied down by something. Something was going on, but maybe there was a mistake that he made that he didn't want me to make as a younger man, 16 years old. He said, don't go below reaching high. To reach high. So I look at but I look at the situation as a high standard, as it's something that I prefer as to what my reach is, where you may not be able to reach it. You got blue pill morons who's telling you not to reach it because they're limited, because they can't get along, because they're two boys and girls in a pea pot who's fighting over sand blocks like idiots. I know and not just believe that the standard is a lot higher than that, because I stand by being superior, not inferior. Too many times we got inferior thinking and inferior acceptance. I don't accept inferiority. You can take inferiority and you can eat it for the sake of my friend and stuff it somewhere where it is a very dark room and it stinks. You can accept that, not Morpheus. So to you, you think I'm out of my mind and, oh, that's a crazy standard. No, that's you and your thinking and your low life. For me, I'm going to reach high no matter what. Even if it don't happen, it don't matter. I'm still going to reach. I'm going to put the bar right there and say, that's what I want. Somebody say, oh, that didn't ever happen. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's okay. That's cool. But the bar is not going nowhere. It's still going to be there. What do you want, Morpheus? Oh, Sarah, Sue, and Sally right over there. But what you can't have all three of them, man. You got no. I'll be. Oh no. Well, who are you? Who are you to tell me? Well, man, because women don't get along, they're gonna be arguing, and one of them gonna get jealous. Be like, okay, what type of women? No, the modern day woman, the American woman, the one who's based on I'm liberated, my body, my choice. Of course, moron. That's not gonna happen. Because we can't even get along in the same cubicle together here in the Westernized civilization. We can't even share each other's bills. We can't even eat together at the dinner table without backstabbing each other. So, of course, this ain't kindergarten that you can't get along with each other. So, of course, in your mind, it's impossible and it's hard. That don't mean I have to accept your lowest hanging fruit and be at a low acceptance level like you. Even if it don't happen, even if it never happens, even if in your mind it's impossible, and even if it's something that is far too far and fetched and few in between. Okay, the bar is going to be sitting over there because it has my name on it. You find your own bar, find your own road, and make your own standards, and stop saying and thinking that your opinion matters because your opinion is based on your own standards. Save your own standards for yourself. You can spread that stuff on your macaroni and cheese and eat it. I'm not eating the garbage. You do that. The problem of the matter is when you think of the science is yourself. Think of how you operate. I know how I operate as a man. You can't tell me how I operate as a man as what is difficult for me. Okay, you worry about what's difficult for you. And you deal with that because y'all have an issue here where y'all can't even stay married outside of 5 years. You can't even raise a child now without the mom taking the child away from you. So, of course, you would say, oh, it's impossible to be in a long-term relationship and marriage. Of course. Because what are you working with? You're working with rotted apples. Just because the standard is low, just because the river that you are in is actually a swamp, that doesn't mean an ocean does not exist. Just because the moon is shining at night and it's dark, everything is gloomy and quiet, that doesn't mean that the sunlight will never shine again. You got to start thinking like that. And because y'all don't think like that, because you accept your lowest hanging fruit, you die for it on the inside. You lose your testosterone. You take in Viagra. You frustrated. Now you stuck with this girl who's now 150 pounds extra than what she used to be because you're sitting there flabbergasted listening to what mythical, unrelated to proof or evidence lifestyle and backwards walking traditional ignorance is providing you. You have to put it that way. And you get mad at me because I want things that you think is impossible. You stand there and you eat your rocks while I'll be eating fruits and berries. Be ignorant for yourself. Oftentimes, when it comes to getting back to religious myth, the reason why I said that quote is because sometimes science can prove a thing to you by your nature, your anatomy, your chemistry, your possibilities. When you know what you want and who you are as a man and individual, how could you fool yourself? How could it be at this time where it's like, oh, I just discovered 5 years later that, See, you don't know what Morpheus has been through. I've had this conversation before with a couple of other gentlemen, and the mind of people is beyond stupid. I didn't tell them about that story of this elder person because you don't know what I've been through. You don't know what caused me to think the way that I think. I've seen reality, whereas you don't even know what it is yet. Can't even spell it. Those are life-changing situations that a lot of people don't get because you go through your life and you accept anything that's given to you. Just because they say you do it, you do it. Oh, you are supposed to do this as a man, so you do it. I've been taught by elders and like that smart man who had a mission to tell me not to accept low hanging fruit, to be that one person to say, wait a minute, look at you from the top of your head to your shoes and ask you, who the hell you think you are telling me what I'm supposed to do as a man? You better quickly turn around as fast as you can. That ambulance isn't going to get here that fast. So you better be faster than the ambulance, because it's senseless stupidity that we have to deal with. And because we're not thinking by the anatomy that we are, we're not thinking about our own focal points. We're thinking about the programming. There's a lot of people like hive mind girls, women who think hive mind, they dress the same, they talk the same, and y'all American men are struggling with them because you don't understand something, that a few of them don't really want to be a part of the hive mind. A few of them really want to pull away from the hive mind. A few of them really want to don the dress again. You know, a few of them really are like, you know what? No, Donkey Duncan, I'm cool. No, I'm cool. I'm cool. No, I don't have Facebook. Absolutely not. No, no. Instagram, no, that's for slut. That's for these loose end girls. I'm not gonna, no. There's some girls who want to do that, but they're swept away. Okay, because there are a lot of blue pill men who is the ones pushing them in that direction because of their expectations and their lack of intelligence. And therefore the girls are like, well, why be virtuous? Well, we don't need to. Like, well, okay, you know, you're going to praise me when I take my clothes off. Fine, I'll do it. Oh, you like my bosoms back there? Okay. I'm just calling it that. you like my mounts back there? Oh, I see you staring. Okay, well, I'll just keep dressing like this. It's cool. That's cool. You know, the moment you mess up, there's going to be somebody else that's going to come in right behind you. I can replace you because I'm the valuable, rich individual. See, that's why y'all are you're their subjects. You are a subject, not an asset, a subject. And of course, I guess you can be an asset, a usable one at the same time. So therefore, you're always at a disadvantage, that and from blue pill systems that are providing them with power to overtake you. They overtake you because you don't understand the status of who you are as a man. If you're standing there and you have a principle, as I've just described before, you have a standard, and you'll say, I'm not bending until the standard is set, until I get what I need. Okay, then things just might change for you. But too many times you're bending to their will. You're clicking and swiping and, oh, I like this, and baby, what's up? Oh, look at you. Look at you. Can I take you out to eat? Why do you, okay, you're like, Morpheus, you out of your mind. Why do you think, let me ask you a question for a moment here. Calm down, Neil. Why do you think when older women, they get aggressive, they do the approaching, you'll say, oh, it's just because they're desperate. No, because their river is dry. Nobody is chasing them anymore. So now they're doing the chasing. Duh. So therefore, what makes you think it's different for younger women? Okay. The problem is younger women are being chased. That's why they don't chase. They can put themselves in a position. I've seen it happen multiple times when they are ignored. When they feel like nobody's giving the attention that they want, she will stand next to you and bump you with her hip. Or she'll look at you from the side of her face. Or she will give you a really big smile. Or she will be very open with you when you talk to her. She will go into a puddle of mud, or not mud. She will turn into liquid when you speak to her. I have that happen to me multiple times. You know, I'll be like, dang, why is this girl like? You know, I don't even flirt or anything else. Just saying hello, the girls start laughing immediately. Oh, okay. Hi, yo, Mr. C. Oh, and I'm like, whoa, dang. And I say something that might be very mediocrely funny. She'll go over the heels and just laugh out loud, and just, like I just said a serious punchline. Then I hear from the birds and the bees and her specifically, you know, she really likes you. She got a crush on you. She like, what? Like, yeah, she's, you know, yeah, she told me, like, oh, dang, like, was that it? Yeah, she's just waiting for you to say something. No, she's waiting for you to to initiate. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, so they're somewhere or the other, they'll put themselves in that position. They'll get real close. They will approach you. They will come to you with excuses, with an excuse to talk to you, even if it's lame and it's, talk about some dumb stuff that don't really matter. She just want to be there underneath you. And sometimes she just want to be there, period. She won't even say nothing. She'd be standing there next to you. I had that several times happen when I went out to a meeting, or we'd go out to a restaurant or club or something like that. And there'll be a girl standing right there. So, I mean, just right on my arm, going nowhere. Every time I move somewhere, she's scooting right next to me. It's right next to me. I go order a drink and she'll be sitting right there, looking right at my face and just bumping her hips and just waving her hair, flapping her hair all over the place. I'm like, what's good? There was one time where, I actually I did have a girlfriend that was there with me. Yeah, they're just, girlfriends. I got plenty of girlfriends. And I was out there just standing on the wall while people were dancing or something like that. And the music blaring. And I think after we was walking towards the restroom or something like that, she said, there was a girl standing right next to you. I was like, huh? So yeah, she was right there. I knew I seen something. I smelled some type of perfume. She said, yeah, she was right there on your arm. Like, she said, who is she? What's that girl's name? She wasn't jealous. The girlfriend wasn't trying to assault me. She was just wondering who was that girl that was standing so close. I mean, she's like, everybody would have thought they were together. And I'm thinking, I didn't even notice she was standing there. Because some girls would do that. She'd be standing right there. You wouldn't even notice. Like, what? Like, like, you turn around and bump into her, but oh, excuse me. She's like, I just want to be here. Like, just let me be underneath you for a moment. She'll put herself in that position. So therefore, you really don't have to do a lot of chasing. You don't have to do all the work. But if you realize that, things will happen properly for you. Whereas instead of giving her all the glory and chasing her, she ain't going to do all that. She'll be sitting in her office somewhere. She'll be far distance and you come from all the way across the room just to tell her she looked good. Like a moron. So I've gotten a little off topic here. And I'm just giving you a little bit of examples. But with what I just told you before, the reality of the matter is knowing who you are and what you're working with as a male, not as a programmed man. We're programmed men. We're not males. We're not thinking about our manhood. We are full of testosterone. We are leaders. We are logical thinking men. We are men that say, ho, hing, ho, I want this. This is what I want. If I don't want it, I'll make it happen. Oh, I can't make it happen. I go get rock and stone and I put it together. That's what we do. But nowadays we like, oh, well, okay. All right. Oh, you want me to do that? I'll do it. Oh, you're not a man until you do this. Oh, okay. I'm not a man. I'll do it then so I can prove that I'm a man. Based on your standards, based on your programming and your manipulation. I'll do it. Okay. Here's a ring. 15 years later. Well, we're divorced. I don't like her no more. This is a dead marriage, but I'm stuck in it. Okay. Outrageous. See, I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm gonna put a cherry on top of the cake, and I'm gonna stop this audio. Okay, so I really don't want you to misunderstand what I am saying as Morpheus. Okay, because this is a teaching part here. Okay? And you really think that is impossible. I had a 22-year-old friend who I actually sat down and I told her about my standards and my protocols. Okay? And you'll think that she'll flip out and be like, no, I'll leave. It made her get closer and she understood a lot of things. You see, and at the same time, she was able to see the future just a little bit brighter based on being outside of the manipulation. She had to break away from family and friends in order for her to have a clear mindset. Too many times women can't do that because they're being coveted by their mothers and their other friends. They'll go in girl groups they will go in girl groups and they really don't want to be in those girl groups. And they don't have the opportunity to be around a real man who will settle down with standards, who would tell them what real life is all about, you know, how us men really operate. So she would never get a chance to know. So what will happen is two things. She'll go with the herd of the women and do what the rest of the women are doing because she's being coveted by those women. She's being hidden by them. She's being deceived by them. And they're making pact agreements with her. You know, I hide your secret, you hide my secret. Whisper type of stuff. And so she'll go out of town with them and she have her girl groups. You know, then of course with that, she's donkey dunking, doing things she ain't supposed to be doing, smoking in the car and stuff like that. You know, with those girl groups, because that's her only movement, her only chain of effect. The second thing is she's there because, what I tell you before, blue pill men with low standards. She's there because men don't step up to the plate. She's there because too many boys just want to donkey dunk. And it's more than just that. She's looking for a man with a head on her shoulders. She's looking for somebody who can lead. So when she can't find that, and she don't, because the guy just want to come around and, you know, well, let's donkey dunk, you know, dude, you're cute, baby. Look at your leg. You sick power. She's like, oh, please. I heard that. Come on. I'm a rich woman. I don't need you, blue pill. I got 9 different blue pills in my back. I don't need you, dummy. Dummy, I don't need you. Why are you hollering at me? Why are you trying to talk to me? I don't need you, idiot. So she'll immediately get tired. Like, I'm bored of these dumb. You know, I'm just gonna, forget it. So she's a feminist. You know, she just get, she's like, nah, I'm just going to just do my thing, chase my career. I don't need a man, because 9 times out of 10, she don't need a moron. She don't need morons. And she's out, and she'll do that till she's 32 years old. And then finally nature will hit her and she wants to settle down and give it to somebody. Okay. Because a lot of times when she do encounter men, where's their mind at? Is in stupid land. It's anytime you agree with the system and the program, the woman's going to step all over. She's going to be, yeah, you ain't a man. You a punk. She'll disrespect you quick. She'll be like, nah, this dude is sad because every other man is doing the same thing. Do you not understand? She'll be looking for something that's different. You ain't different. Talking about, oh, let's get married. Oh, yeah. Okay. You want to get married? Oh, you want to put a ring on it? Just like every other moron. Sure. Okay. I'll marry you. And she will. And to the perfect opportunity, she absorb all your resources, your time, your energy, and then dump your stupid behind because you are. Okay, blue pill. Okay. But when you are rigid, you are willing to go against the grain. You're the one say, nah, I don't think so. That's stupid. When I sat down and talked to the 22-year-old about some of the things I just brought to you, you would have thought she'd be like, nah, she walked nuts. She's like, okay, I see. I see what you mean. Okay, I see what you mean. So therefore, when another woman came across the scene and tried to flirt with me or get out irate or something like that, she wouldn't immediately try to fight. Of course, she'd be uncomfortable and, I don't want her being around, but it wasn't a drastic situation. It was an understandable situation. Oh, you're a man, you're very attractive. And I know that women are going to come around and I know your standards. Stupid, like, yeah, I'm watching you. You're gonna try to tack on girl number 2 and set us both down and say this is what time of day it is. But you know what? I learned a lot from her as well. You'll be surprised. Listen, and I'm gonna end it right here. Some people think, and this is definitely for mothers and fathers, y'all think that a 22, 23-year-old girl can't offer anything to a 36, 37, whatever age man, or 40, whatever. You be dead wrong. Because there is some value she can bring into your life. There's some things that she knows about you don't know about. Especially you ain't been in high school and college in a long time. She just got out of high school and college. She'll tell you about what's going on in the high school and college. She'll tell you about what's on the down low. She'll tell you the real deal with the straight face. And you'll be sitting like, wow, I didn't know that. Like, what? Oh, the famous rapper now, the famous singer now. She'll be like, I know what's going on here. That phrase means this and that. So you standing there and she's showing you what's going on in the real world. And now you up to date because of her and she's up to date because of you. There is a possible and a successful exchange between you and that younger lady, where she can provide value to you. It don't have to be at your logical level. She don't know everything that you know, but there's something she can supply. There's something she can supply. And that's what a lot of older 32, 45-year-old women hate about younger women. They hate them because younger women are pliable. They are able to learn something. They are able to get on the right track. They are able sometimes, if they find the right man, where if that right man's back is rigid, she will understand what time of day it is, but she's not allowed to because she got Ursula there, just like, what do you call that, Cinderella? They are there attacking her. They are there keeping her from you men. So therefore, while she's 22, 23, they're fighting her to be away from you. So she can be just like them at the age of 32. I'm independent. I don't need a man. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. Yeah, I had like 5 abortions. Now, come take me now that I'm 42 years old and everything is a puddle around my shoes. Yeah, because that's the value they want to give you. Listen. No way should be your mind. In your mind, you should be like, hell to the no. Hell to the no. And you tack them both. Hell no. Absolutely not. You have to have a high standard. You got to reach high. Even if you miss, reach high anyway. I'll be like, okay, you do. And y'all think Morpheus is joking. There was 3 years ago. I think it was 2000 and it was three years ago. I did go out there to a club to get the feeling again. Just see what happens, just get out there and mingle, see what happens. I absolutely did dance with 3 girls at one time. They were there. And I'm not going to say their names so they don't know who they are. Okay, they were right there bouncing on. And everybody's like, okay, this is cool. This is normal. This is all right. Okay, and there were 2 other guys standing there like, no, what's going on? So what happened was this. And it blew my mind. And I was like, what the third girl was on my right hand side. One was in front of me. One was on my left hand side. Okay. And we're dancing, right? They're just bouncing around and laughing and joking, right? And you would think, oh, you have to pay all the drinks. No, they brought their own drinks. They all had a job. They have their own job. They didn't ask me for anything. Okay, I only brought one person a drink and she didn't even have to ask for it because I realized she was standing there. She wasn't drinking anything. So I wanted her to be happy. Okay, it wasn't to try to get in her pants. That's just why I provide like that. I like my women to be happy. Okay, I don't leave them stranded like that. But it wasn't because she was obligated to it. It wasn't because she earned it. And it wasn't because she asked for it. I just said, you can have this right here. You just go ahead and drink this, baby. Go ahead. So one of the guys tried to butt in because he was thinking, one of the girls was mine, but all of them was. They were all 3 were dancing. They was like, okay, no. It was like in a circle, not no girly stuff. No, they was like, no, this is my dude right here. And when this guy, I felt sorry for him. This guy tried to butt in to get the girl that was on my right hand side. She scooted to the point where she blocked him out. She put her back towards him like, nah, get out. Go. Get out. Like, God. And the push come to shove, why I can talk to you the way that I talk to you men. Check this out. And I really want you to think about this. When we start talking to each other, when the music went down, we was able to talk and hear. Okay. One of the girls left. And when she went to the bar to get her another drink, the one girl and the other girl obligated themselves to tell me a little bit more about themselves. The girl who was in front of me, she said she had a husband and she had a child at home. I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, fine. And the other girl said, yeah, she's going to head out of town for some studies or something like that. She was just in town visiting. I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. And she pointed to the other girl. She said, yeah, that girl, she just had a child. She's arguing and she's going through things with her baby daddy, though, but she just had a child. And y'all be thinking, well, we get these girls who are scot clean, they're healthy, they haven't been out there. These girls aren't looking for blue pill weak dudes. They're not looking for your soft hat, dumb mentality. They're looking for something different. And I wasn't going to point to one and say, no, I'm going to be with you. No, I stood there and let them know that I wasn't going to decide between one of them. I wanted all three of them. You know, oh, Morpheus, how could no? Yeah, I didn't say nothing. That's why they didn't go nowhere. And you'll think, well, you know, they was waiting, you know, they were like, you know, just thinking in their mind, oh, choose one of us. Just choose. No, no, Nah, when one of them tried to, reach forward and give me the hint, like, nah. I'm letting you know I'm here for all three of you. I'm only telling you this because I'm telling you, you reach high and you say, oh, did you hit or miss? You think what did I tell you? They have boyfriends at home. I'm not going to mess with some girls who's with somebody else. That's going to be a trouble. They probably would have, most likely. Okay. I got a nice, beautiful home and a Lexus out. Come on. Of course. But if their boyfriends catch wind, why would I want to do something to a dude like that? Listen, I'm all about men and I support men. I'm not going to be a dog like that. I don't even have to know him. He's my brother, whether he is white or black. They were beautiful white girls. There was 2 white girls, 1 black girl. Come on. It would have been like, it would have been a party time. Okay. But in the party time as well, there's several things that factor. There's sexual transmitted diseases that I'm always cautious about and aware of. And that's not the only disease that can get you. It can be disease of the boyfriends or the relationship and ties that they can get themselves into. And it could be a drastic situation of destruction. So it's not that it's impossible or a problem. The problem is the ties that what you are dealing with can get you into. And when you know yourself and you know what you're dealing with, you'll have a successful future. What we are today, we are humans walking backwards. We're not walking forward. If you want to walk forward, you walk forward with both feet in front of you. Logically, keep your eyes forward and think what's ahead of you. So therefore, if you got to go, study your goal and study what that goal can do for you. So it's not like it's impossible. It was right there in front of me. It probably would have been a Shangri-La, but I was like, no, because you told me you got a boyfriend somewhere. What if he's outside the club and he see me going outside the club with all 3 of y'all and no, who are you with this? Like, no. And y'all dumb mind thinking, oh, because he's a pimp. Or because, oh, he's a player. He's a hustler. No, you don't listen. Shut your mouth and listen. You don't have to be a hustler or a player or a playboy to make that happen. All you need is to have a standard. Have a standard and be your best self. Know who you are and be confident. That's all you need. You don't need to walk around like you some famous rapper or who you are. You're trying to open up a Playboy mansion. You're dumb when you talk like that. Actually, you are a retarded thinking individual and you need help. I will recommend you to Dr. Phil immediately so he can make you worse. You're stupid. Your idea is the frequency of your perception. When you start straightening out your mind, things will become clear. It's just not clear to you because everybody's looking. Listen, here's the problem. Everybody's looking through everybody else's lens and they're judging everybody else based on their lens. They're not cleaning their own glasses. Clean your own window and your own glasses and things will become clear to you. I don't judge you about your perception or your reach or whatever standards you have. So don't try to get in my face and judge me about mine because it's not going to change. At the end of the day, I'm still going to be having 3 chairs waiting for Sarah, Becca, and Sue. It don't matter if they never fill this chair there. For the rest of my life, it will still be sitting there. You can go ahead and be a single, exclusive, weak, passive individual that you want to be. That's your business. For me, I'm reaching high. And therefore, if I decide to settle down, I know what I'm settling down with, and I'm not going to be engulfed in stupidity like yourself. You be weak. I'm interested in power. I'm interested in power and unity. I'm interested in power and unity. And that comes with knowing how to get along. It comes with integrity. It comes with an equal goal that you can easily have. But y'all can't have it because we're grown children walking backwards. Know yourself, you will know your destiny. Know yourself and you will know your destiny. I can care less if you don't like it. It's for me. It's not for you, apparently. You can't even keep 1 girlfriend, let alone get 2 of them. without them fighting each other because of where they are raised. Where are they at? What town and country are they at? Where do they come from? How many times they donkey dunked? What culture are they? How have they been deceived? How do they know how to take care of men? How do they even know how to get along with their own kind? Because some women can't even get along with their own kind because they're raised like that. And you're talking about, oh, Morpheus, it's impossible. What kind of dumb stuff is that? They said it was impossible to reach the moon. We reached the moon how many times? Really? Oh, there's no such thing as a phone that's able to change the thermostat. There's no such thing as a phone that's able to, to have no connections to it and be able to reach somebody over there overseas. But yeah, you still can now, can't you? I can't pay my bills with my phone or on the computer. You do it now, don't you? And there were so many morons during that time that said, oh, it's impossible. The moment you say it's impossible, you are a loser. You are a loser. So you can take your losses and your losing self and you'll take it somewhere else. Take your sorry story to somebody else who's as sorry as you are. You got to start thinking that I am going to reach the goal. If I don't reach it, I don't want nothing else. That's who I am. That's what gives me power and validity. That's what keeps me going. If I get anything less, I'm not going to be satisfied. You'd be like, nah, you can keep that junk. Nah, this is 99% Morpheus. But no, keep your 99%. Where's my penny? Where's my penny? Reach your goal. You hit the target or don't hit it at all, but make sure that the target's still there. Once you take that target down, once you say anything happens, I'm just going to do it. You're done. You're done. Agent Smith is going to come along and he's going to tack you onto the computer and he's going to give you what you want him to give you because you just want to accept anything that's there before you. You are to disconnect yourself from the computer world and you make your own world. You be the God of that, what you survey and the owner of your own soul and spirit. When you're not willing to, somebody else is going to own your spirit and own your life and run you to hell. Not here, not ever, not over here on Morpheus, not on Morpheus's castle, not over here. So let this be a lesson to you. And I threw science in there on purpose because a lot of people have arguments on mythical thinking and tradition, but you can't physically prove it. You can't physically tell them, oh, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son that he said, believe in him shall have eternal life. Really? And coffins are dropping every day, genius. So we walking past stones that say RIP for jokes and giggles. And a lot of them were Christians just like you. When the only thing that it was basically talking about on a general basis was astrology, and it was talking metaphysically of what you could do mentally in your world. Or if you focus on nature and you focus on yourself, you have the ability of longevity and logic through nature and science that we ignore because we're still busy blowing balloons and blowing other things up because we're used to it. Nonsense. Absolutely not nonsense. I got to put it this way as an example. So if you talk about, well, Morpheus, no, I'm showing you right now. I'm trying to tell you as much as I can. That's what I look like. Well, that's what I look at. That's a target. That's a zone of a possibility of a example. Even it don't matter what your goal may be. Oh, I'm going to be imaginary next year. I want to make 2 million. You know what? I want 100,000 subs. Don't say, oh, it'll never happen. No, just make it happen. Be patient and it will be there. Don't lower your standards because everybody else around you is a low frequency species. Let the dead bury the dead. Let the living live. And you keep it moving no matter what. As soon as you accept anything that comes your way, you'll be that 14-year-old marriage, dumb guy, balding, needing tattoos and needing Viagra. Trying to, going through, a midlife crisis and you unsuccessful and bitter and unhappy. And every day is a great cloud for you because you was reaching low, and that low hanging fruit is going to catch up to you over time. You say, oh, well, the 3 wives are going to catch up to you. Well, at least I got options. You don't. At least I got a choice. You don't. I got a different sensation. You don't. I got a different hair color. You don't. We can do all kind of things and build something together. You can't. You got 4 arms. I got 8. I can wash my car and feed her at the same time. All you can do is feed her and wash your car with her at the same time. Limited species. Hey baby, go buy some groceries while I'll go to work. She's going to buy some groceries. You going to work. You think you're doing something. I'd be like, Negro. I'd be like, I got somebody washing my car. I got somebody going over there getting groceries. And this girl is paying bills and I'm at work or I'm in a business meeting at the same time. And you think you doing something. Please, we run circles around you. And you talking about, to have, to hold, for sickness, to poor. This is a marvelous. When a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. Yeah. Really? Yeah, you tell those men who've been divorced. Tell those guys who've been divorce robbed in the court. Tell those guys who are paying child support for a child that's not his. How about that? See, and you'll think like, oh, you think you got a problem now. You get all 3 of those girls pregnant. You'll really have a situation now because I'm not as dumb as you. There are signs, protocols, and principles that you must stand on. Some of you men tolerate nonsense, and that's how it happens. It happens because you don't see the signs, because you don't understand cats hump at night. You're an idiot because you sitting up here allowing her to bait you, manipulate you, and you're walking around like, okay, I'll accept it because I'm not going to find another one just like you. The moment one of them act crazy, I'm going to be like, you girls, y'all pack her bag for her. Take her, give me that key back, help her out of the door immediately. And the moment she flinch, call authorities because she's going to fly out of this door, whether she like it or not. Let her act crazy. Let her act crazy one time. I'll be like, oh, so where was you at Saturday? Actually, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to sit back on the chair and cross my legs. And I'm going to say, Sarah, do your thing. Go ask her. Sarah be like, okay, so where was you at Saturday night? Where was you at? I met up with one of my friends from my job. We went out to a corporate dinner, and I just stayed long. But okay, oh really? What's his name? Oh, he's about. Okay, get out, get your shit, get your stuff and get out. What are you talking about? Get out, go. 0 tolerance. No, you go wherever you came from. Go back to them. Leave. We can do this without you. Goodbye. Have fun. Goodbye. And I still got 2 beautiful companions right there. Ain't going to be working on third. As soon as you go out, I'm going to find somebody else. You, on the other hand, as soon as that's done, you're like, I don't want to leave this girl. This is the only one I got. She's the mother of my children. Oh my God. She cheated on me. I don't know. I'm going to try to work it out. I can't believe she's doing it. You standing there all heartbroken and ignorant. No. Because okay, I'll replace you. But then you got to start all over again. Soon as she's gone, there you go single again for 2 or 3 years or something like that. And you're trying to remarry or get another. No. I'll be sitting there maintaining stability. You will not. Because you know what? I know I'm a man. You forgot you was a man. You allowed yourself to be feminized and to go along with the westernized standard of civilization. One man for one woman, dumb mentality. And you stick yourself eventually. And now you hurt. You hurt. You know what I do on the often? And I did that with one of my ex-girlfriends. That y'all think is y'all just don't get it. I kept a diary. If she'd ever, I kept track on everything. It wasn't you think, oh, you just, monitor. No. I kept track on everything that just didn't make sense. And I made sure that should she flip, she's going to be flipping on her head. I wasn't tolerating dumb stuff. So what would happen is when there was something that happened, she had no excuse. And it wasn't no, I'm hounding, I'm controlled. No, it's like, no, be you, boo. Be you, boo. I'll be behind you. I love you. Take care of you. Whatever needs to be done. We're going to make this thing work as far as you get. But you're going to hang yourself. You're going to hang yourself eventually because I don't play that game. A lot of you go by the system. You go by church. You got the priest telling you, oh, you can't divorce this person. You got other people. Oh, she's a good woman. Your ancient dad or mom, blue pill, telling you, yeah, you should just stick with it and make it work, baby, even though you're miserable. She just feel this way. Just deal with her right now until she get over. I'll be like, nah, no, absolutely not. Zero tolerance. You are an adult by now. Be like, are you still 12 years old? You are an adult. Stop the childish nonsense. Get right or get out. There ain't no in between. It's like, well, I'm just going to tolerate the situation for now, because men, it don't get better. Once she disrespects you, it's over. It's done. Y'all don't get this. Once she disrespects you and she falls out of her sense of love for you and loyalty, you are in a dry relationship where y'all living in separate rooms. You are sleeping on the couch. She's in the bed. Or you on the bed. She's on the couch. And she's making excuses not to look you in your face, because she's looking in the computer face where other guys are looking at her in the face. I'm not looking to be looking at some PORN for the rest of my life in some PORN magazines. I'm not looking to look for some robotic love doll in the future that China's going to have to make because we can't find any loyal, diligent, virtuous women here in America. I'm not sitting here to be pulling up jars of lotion and imagining the things that happen. I'm looking to make it happen and settle it where I don't have to go nowhere. It is all in home. If I want the triple X, they are right there. X Sarah, X this person, X over here, put them together. Here we go. Be done with it. The reason why it don't happen is because y'all don't gain nothing. Y'all don't have any. You don't have a trajectory. Y'all don't think the same. Y'all are every man for himself. Every man for himself. Did I think like that when I was at the club with the three girls? I was like, no, I'm not going to hurt my brother. I'm not going to do him like that. No. I do not concern myself about what they would do because they're irrelevant to the matter. I can handle my own. More or less, I'm thinking about, I don't want to be that man who's going to listen. Yeah. I'm not going to do him like that, where his girlfriend or his wife come home and she's not going to be able to peer bond with him no more. I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to break this man like that. That's not right. It's not fair. It's not good. It's not spiritually healthy. Okay. And I just ruined somebody's relationship. Absolutely not. Because I'm looking out for him. I'm looking out for other men. I'm looking out for, when I meet women, I'm thinking about you dudes. I'm thinking about what you got to go through when she's telling me her struggles. And she's like, oh, I got a boyfriend that blah, blah. I'm thinking about you like, oh, okay. And I'm like, this dude don't understand. Y'all don't understand. But we don't think like that. Oh, it's all for myself. This is my wife right here. This is my woman. I hope my home. This is what's going on over here. Yeah, it's my girlfriend. Yeah, man. I ain't gonna have no standards. I'm just gonna go along with the program. She want me to buy her this. I'm gonna do it anyway because that's what's gonna make her happy. Buying her something's gonna make her happy. I wish you would. Hey, baby, can you buy me a car? I'll be committed to you for the rest of your life. I'll be like, no, get out. Buy your own car. Ooh, this expensive meals over here. You got some money? You work? No, you can work now. You're liberated. Now you buy it. Open up the door for me. I'll be standing right there with my hands crossed. No, you open. There you go. You're strong enough. You She-Ra now. They got you, you a Jedi hero now. They got you on the front page. Yeah, they made Superman series that now we got Superwoman now. Okay, now you can break the door open if you want to. So go ahead. Go ahead. And a lot of y'all don't understand. This stuff is happening to younger girls. Listen, y'all know I teach, right? And check this out. One of my students, I had to take them to the store to get some school supplies. And this was at the time where there was homeschooling. They had to bring the computers from school, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. And I was ahead of the curve. We got this stuff ahead of time, utensils and stuff like that, because I was going to teach her while going through the computer work with her. And the mom went inside to get some stuff. I'm sitting in the front seat, and the girl was looking at some dolls, looking at Elsa and what's her name? Elsa and Anna. And I think one of them, I don't know, I think it's probably Anna, something like that. Turned queen or something like that. And she had the queen doll of Anna. And when she was smiling back there, she said, you know who I am? You know who I am, Mr. C? I said, who are you? I know who you are, but who are you? She said, I'm the queen. I'm like, you have the what? Say, I'm the queen. I'm the queen. I'm like, y'all don't understand that the programming is so deep where when you create a cartoon, you have a movie, and these girls are being promoted that way to be something that they're not. They don't know the logistics behind it and the logic behind it. It's like we don't understand that they're pushed in that position to the point where they think that they are Iron Woman walking around where they can walk through walls. And then y'all men sit down on one knee. Okay. And you get beat up by the woman because you're weaker than her now. And you wonder why you can't find a good you wonder why you can't even find somebody of quality anymore. It's like you, and some of you promote it to happen. Oh yeah, women are strong. I'm just yeah, because you're weak now. And that's why they can't depend on you. That's why we can't find any solid foundations or solid fathers or any red pill true alphas, because the true alphas are turning to be blue pill, purple pill, and disappear. Just ridiculous behavior. And it saddens me that she said something like that. I was going to throw the doll and throw it out the window. I didn't buy it for her. Trust me, I didn't. It was somebody else doing the dumb stuff. It's one thing to give her a Barbie doll, and the Barbie doll's just, this cute Barbie, and, she's living her world up. And now we giving them positions. Now it's a princess doll. Now it's a queen doll. Girl ain't even 10 years old yet talking about she's a queen. What's she going to be like when she's 21 years old? I'm entitled to everything. I'm the god of the world. And all the blue pill guys is like, okay, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Tuck your tail in between your legs, ma'am. I'm going to get off of this. I had fun. I really had fun. I had fun with this audio. I really, truly enjoyed myself. Letting loose a little bit. I had to let my hair down a little bit on that one. It's Leon C. You know who I am, aka Morpheus, and it's all about empowerment. Everything I said is just to show you and teach you something. It's just to open up your mind. Any way that I can, I'm going to keep swinging this sword at the Matrix. Sometimes there's a hit and miss. In battle, especially martial arts, when I'm going up against a dummy, or we doing blade wars, sometimes we practice with sticks and swords. Yes, real swords. Sometimes the blade is hard and it clings. Sometimes we miss. Sometimes we'll cut the glove a little bit, or it gets real close. Or every now and then I get a cut on my finger, and I don't know how I got it, but the blade misses and it swings. And sometimes I hit the wall, cling, bling. Sometimes we'll drop the blade. It's like that, but you have a goal to reach. The goal to reach is to get rid of stupidity and swing at the machine of our thinking, of our captivated ignorance, where we can free ourselves. Sometimes it's not going to be accurate, but you're swinging towards a goal. You're trying to be on pinpoint. And so I do that as well with my teaching, where I'm swinging at it. And there's some hit and miss, but there's a directive and a point behind this, that I'm trying to reach something to pull you away from something that you might be connected to that you don't know you are. And you wonder why at the end of your marriage, your life, your relationship, your soul is sapped. You feel, encouraged, you're not inspired, your testosterone's gone, you a weak man now, you 54, you can't do nothing, you're a couch potato, because ain't nobody doing this. There are plenty of men doing this, but I want you to be better so you can be your best self and be with your best woman. If you want one woman, go for it, but you better make sure that she's packing. That's all I'm saying. Make sure that she is everything that your chemistry needs. Make sure that she is what you are going to be satisfied with for however long you want to keep the girl. So that means you gotta aim high. You gotta take that arrow and reach it all the way up. Especially after that man, when he told me that, my arms ain't coming down. You might as well forget it. That pole's gonna be sitting there until it happens. If it don't, it's just gonna be, when I'm gone, that pole's still gonna be sitting there. I'll have it on my grave. Sarah, what's their name? What's their name? Sarah, Crystal, and Dashe. It's going to be right on my gravesite. R.I.P. Forget about R.I.P. Just put Sarah, Crystal, and Dashe right there. Nothing less. I can care less. Even at the pearly gates. It's going to be here. Right there. until it is done. If it's not done, I don't care. It's my life, not yours. So you got to learn how to aim high. Aim high and miss. Aim low and get dirt junk. It's Leon C, aka Morpheus. Get the book, like, share, subscribe. Do what you do, my friends.